Welcome back to Current News. I'm your host, Daniel Maadanian, and in today's public service announcement, we are featuring surface water pollution. Surface water pollution is directly referring to the pollutions of lakes, rivers, oceans, and many other surface bodies of water, and we are currently polluting it, including daily activities that many don't even know pollutes the environment. Many people around the world are currently relying on groundwater for drinking and irrigation water. As time goes on, there is a greater demand for this source of water, leading to unsafe forms of retrieving that water approaching the surface. Plastics, chemicals, and pathogens such as metal and pesticides cause surface methods of pollution. Pesticides reach surface water as their use within agriculture often results in seepage into the soils that can contaminate surface waters, as well as spills or leaks that will eventually reach the water and contaminate it. Metals and chemicals are a result of industrial use as well as the burning of fossil fuels. These pollutants are discharged into sewage systems and are led to direct waterways, contaminating and exposing ecosystems to these pollutants. There is also to consider point and non-point sources of pollution. Point source pollution occurs through the many kinds of sources and is usually caused by the direct discharge of waste or effluents in a wide area. An example of this source is fertilizers and runoff. Unlike point source, non-point source pollution can't be singled out and identified, as the discharge of these waters or effluents occur widely. Examples of non-point solutions or sources of pollutions are oil tank spillages and sewer systems. Surface water pollution falls under non-point sources, as there are differentiable forms of these pollutants contaminating this water source, as stormwater systems, waste, and more identify them. By measuring the temperature, acidity, particulate matter, and dissolved oxygens, scientists are able to measure specific pollutants that cause the pollution, such as detecting metals, pesticides, and more. After measuring, our scientists can decide our course of action and how to prevent or reduce the overall pollution in a given area. Surface water pollution is an unfortunate result of accidental or planned spills, improperly treated systems, or erosions. There are better ways to manage these systems, but whether or not they are efficient or costly is what is being considered and sacrificed at the cost of this pollution. Pollutants affect aquatic systems and can ultimately lead to the killing off of fish, birds, dolphins, and other aquatic life, many of which have had their habitat destroyed and are forced to relocate. Also, this form of water pollution can cause diseases and poison these species, as there are not well-treated sewage systems and bacteria that are freely roaming in these bodies of water. The worsened water conditions calls for solutions, and these solutions that I'll get into later can become costly and harm those living in the area. Surface water pollution can interrupt drinking water quality and can reduce access to consistent food production in many of the countries struggling with this issue. By reducing the general plastic consumption, as well as practicing the other 4 R's, reuse, refuse, repurpose, and recycle, there will be a significant difference in surface waters, as one of the main contributors to the pollution have slightly been resolved. Also, properly disposing of specific waste can prevent contamination of freshwater resources, as well as harms aquatic systems to a concerning extent. Also, the prevention of oil spills and other power plant related spills need to be implemented so that the sudden incident does not cause long-lasting pollutions and concern. Currently, there are a few acts of legislation that assume the governing position of water quality. The CWA, Clean Water Act, regulates the discharging of pollutants into waters and maintains the reduction of pollution. This regulates the quality of standards for surface waters and allows for an overall healthier environment. When companies or people go against the CWA's legislation, they may be fined, motivating others to follow these regulations. The SDWA, Safe Drinking Water Act, focuses more on the quality of drinking water and whether or not it is safe to drink as humans given certain situations. Specifically focusing on drinking water sources, ground or underground, the SDWA maintains the quality of this water and prevents any spillage or dumplings into these very scarce and vital water sources. How can you help? Make sure to use as little plastic as possible, and if you do, make sure you are recycling it or even reusing it before recycling. Practicing the 5 R's every day can start everyone on a strong path towards overall reducing surface and water pollution in general. Also, pick up litter and compost off the ground as it can reach stormwater drains and go straight into the ocean, or can even leach and contaminate the water before it gets dumped into the body of water. Also, taking shorter showers and specific low-flow toilet methods can reduce the water consumption per household, preserving more water for drinking and other uses. I'm Daniel Maadanian. You're watching the current news on Channel 5. Back to you, Miley.